All right. Good morning, ladies. Welcome to In Search of Prosperity Sisterhood. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad we've got a few ladies here live. If you're listening in on the replay, feel free, and as well as live. If things come up for you, or a quote is said, or something that you want to bring back to the discussion later, that is what we're here for. So, without further ado, earlier this week, we were talking about creative thinking and pausing, remaining present, and then gaining new perspective on whatever that problem is that you have, that you can switch into making it happen, into that creative thinking mode. One quote that was brought up and kind of what spearheaded this was from the book Magic of Thinking Big, and that is believe it can be done. And if we stop and really think about that, that's where I wanted to take today for the bonus P, promptings. Sometimes some crazy stuff comes up in your head called a prompting, and you're like, how is that even possible? Well, believe it can be done. I have had some crazy promptings for this coming year coming up, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, how can I do all of those things in 1 year? And at some point, you just have to shut up and believe. So, along with promptings and looking at 2024, what about trends and traditions? And what can we bring into our business that are exciting and new and fun for us or the world when you talk about things that are trending? One thing that came up for me when I was thinking about all of this was the color of the year. Like, who does that, right? But there's something about it. And it's funny, I actually didn't even notice this until I just said this right here. The trending color of the year is peach of some kind. I forget the exact like Pantone color of peach, but you know how long it's been since I've drank out of this cup? I don't know, 5 or 6 months. And this is the cup I chose for this morning's session. Like, I don't know. Maybe they are speaking to our psyches. I don't know. But what are some of those trends? What are some of those cool, exciting things coming up in fashion, in hashtags, in sports? Mary says hi. What are those things that are coming up that you can latch onto and have fun with, or turn it into something that is something that sticks along for longer than a trend? So if we link that to promptings, a trend is pay for the person behind you, right? But a prompting is, hey, I should do this thing. Not because it's popular, not because it makes a cool hashtag, but because it was on your heart in that moment. And so you're making that popular for yourself. You're making that cool for yourself, in your heart, in your being. So I wanted to share that with you. When we look at creative thinking also, one thing that was brought up last week was reminding ourselves to remove ourselves. And yet, when I talk about promptings like I just did, you're also just bringing yourself, who you are, back into what you do. If who you are is important to you, which it should be, right? Then you can bring it into everything you do. And it doesn't feel off. It doesn't feel like a trend. It feels good inside. So then also, when you're looking at creative thinking, one thing I do a lot with my clients is we just dream up crap. Like, what if this was a real thing? And this morning when I was writing these notes, I thought about, there's a plant shop downtown, and they offer executive services to repot plants in executive offices. Like, how cool is that? I wish I had thought of that. I wish I had dreamed that up, right? But someone along the line said, wouldn't it be cool if I didn't have to do this as the front office person? Like, I'm not a green thumb plant smith type person. And look at the dream that it created for somebody else or for them. I don't know where that came from exactly, right? But thinking about those creative things that can launch you into a year, even an hour ago you didn't think was possible. Maybe this conversation that we have live after this is what tells you, hey, that crazy thing you thought of, like, wouldn't that be cool if these other women in this group, they want to say, yeah, do it, sister, because that's what we're here for. We're here to create that heaven on earth. That wouldn't be it be cool if, because those things that start with those words, wouldn't it be cool if, those are all really cool and positive and big things. But they start with that super innocent just dream of, wouldn't it be cool? And if you have those conversations with your friends, if you have them here with us, there's other women that are going to be, oh, I already thought of that. I knew that was going to happen. I knew someone was going to take that and run. Or that's exactly what we've been looking for. And also, do it, sister. That's what I want you to see for yourself and your business, and showing up in who you are so that what you do comes natural. I want that to kind of sink in. Like, all that creative thinking is you. Like, all that creative thinking is what's creating some awesome change. And why not it be you? So not only, because in our discussion earlier this week, we talked about removing ourselves. Not only do you have to remove yourself, but you also have to plug yourself back in. And that's where it gets fun. I work a lot with my clients on removing themselves in certain pieces of their business. That's usually what we do at the beginning. Because there are little things that might be holding them back. But then we get to plug those things in where they count, where they matter. And going into our discussion today, this is kind of short and sweet. So going into our discussion today, I want to have that bigger conversation of, where are some places where you feel like you're getting in your own way? Or where have you plugged yourself in where you're like, dang, this feels good, right? And maybe you'll start a new trend. Maybe you'll start a new tradition within your business, within your family, within your sisterhood, wherever that might be. Where has creative thinking helped you to find yourself in your business? I'm curious. With that, I'm actually going to close this recording, and we're going to go into our discussion, and we're going to see where this takes us as a sisterhood and as a group that really cheers each other on when we're asking the question, wouldn't it be cool if? I think this is going to be fun, and I appreciate you for coming here and listening to this, joining us here live, all the things. But In Search of Prosperity Sisterhood is here for these exciting discussions. And now we're going to go into our live discussion. So thank you again for joining us, and I'll see you next time.